So now I'm going to enhance it a little bit. I'm going to tell him to stay out of context of the sit, something he may have.
Okay, so I did this at the beginning again, right? So like I said, we're going to find another video to try to just watch some of the general training process and like unbiased, like, you know, like, what do you mean you're going to use stay out of context of the sit? What does stay mean by itself? Right? Yeah. And if you're using stay independently sometimes, and then you're using it in context of the sit, as soon as you say stay, the dog no longer is expected to sit because you've put them into a different command if you're saying stay is an independent command, right? So we'll see what he's going to do here, but what I'm assuming is he's going to say stay, and his expectation is just that the dog can stand there and just doesn't need to move, right? Yeah. So at that point, if you say stay when the dog is in a sit, you are actively putting a dog into another command that implies that you don't have to sit. All you have to do is just maintain the same spot that you're in.
Yeah.
That's confusing. This is why it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
Never done before, but initially what it's going to do is it's going to help compartmentalize what the stay is. So stay is much different from the sit, and a lot
Preparing.
times they're used together. But I want him to know that stay means you have to stay right here. It's completely separate than the sit.
Okay, then you can't use them together.
Yeah.
You can't use it independently and then combine it because you are actively putting your dog into a different command.
Yeah.
Stay. Very good. This is where you can pay a dog if you're using food. Good stay. Okay, break. Yes. So it's important for you guys to randomize your obedience of the dog.
Don't randomize your obedience training unless you've taught everything very clearly, right? When you are training a dog, again, getting back into the specifics, and this is why, you know, there's a big conflict sometimes between like the pet dog world and the sport dog world, and we look at them as two different things. But they're both just training dogs, right?
Yeah.
We're training dogs with different parameters behind the training. We're teaching different things to them, right? But because sport dog trainers, typically speaking, are teaching more precision-based exercises, more complex behaviors, they understand more deeply than a lot of pet dog trainers do that if you want to actively teach something to a dog and you're working on new behaviors, he just said that dog never worked on stay independently, right? You have to drill just that behavior repeatedly over and over and over and over and over and over again until that dog understands that. Then you generalize that behavior. Once you've generalized and proofed that behavior, then you could randomize and you could start freestyling things up a little bit. But you don't do that in the training stages. When we're working with board and trains, there's times I'll sit there and I'll do 60 bed stays in a row. Nothing else, then finish that command. I'll do 60 doorways in a row, then put the dog away. Excuse me. God, I can't fucking talk today. Too many liquids. The second you start mixing things up, you're causing the dog to split their brain and never kind of get into this. Like we rely a lot on in dog training, like the dog kind of getting into in the teaching stages, like an autopilot mode where they're like, oh, sit, this is it. And then after they've done it correctly, you let them keep doing it correct, or after they've figured it out, you let them keep doing it correctly to build their confidence and their stability in that position. If you do 3 exercises, say the dog messes something up 3 times in a row, and then they do 1 good repetition, they're like, oh, that's it. Then immediately you shift to doing something else. You completely fuck with their mind. They're like, wait, I thought that last thing was correct, but I only did it 1 time correct, and now I'm getting corrected because I need to do something else. That gets very, very, very confusing for dogs.